Hello, my little gorgeous dearies, and welcome to another true crime makeup episode. Today we'll be covering the Jigsaw murders. It's one of the most gruesome and twisted cases I've heard of in a while. It made my skin crawl just reading the articles about it. Remember to subscribe to my Patreon for the full uncensored cut of this video with more details and pictures from the crime scenes. And with that, let's get into the first case. So, this whole thing basically started with this dude named John Kramer. He was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And he decided, like most serial killers do, but they have absolutely no reasoning in anything they're doing, that people weren't appreciating their lives enough. So, he decided to start killing people, as one does. He began putting people in these overly engineered death traps. I think it was because he was an engineer. I didn't care enough to memorize the article. What do I look like, a professional? So he started making these awful traps. One of the earliest ones, so it started with this guy named Paul. He was self-harming. So Jigsaw decided that he had to be tested for that because that is a horrible crime against humanity. And so, this dude, he put him in this trap full of razor wire because he was cutting himself. And he's like, oh, the irony, you have to cut yourself to survive, but you were cutting yourself earlier, and if you really want to live, you'll have to do it again. Which is like, sure, I guess? Like, but why, though? So, unfortunately, Paul did not survive his test as Jigsaw, that's what they called him, as the killer, he did not survive his test, and he died there. And it was, skill issue, I guess. I personally, I would just, crawl under the wires instead of going through them, it's like some of these people didn't even think. He had 3 hours too. So, that was a massive skill issue on his part. But one of the most famous cases was with these two guys. Their names, they were Dr. Lawrence Gordon, he was a doctor, obviously, and then there was Adam Faulkner Stanhite. He was a freelance photographer, and it was later found out that he was, stalking, Lawrence Gordon, and that's how they knew each other before the thing. Well, that's how Adam knew Gordon before the trap. Jigsaw had the nerve to say that, Gordon had to kill Adam within 6 hours or he would kill his family. And, which I think is ridiculous, because I could do that in 20 minutes. He also had a gun, because there was, somebody got shot. There was guns involved. I could have killed Adam in, 20 minutes, but, some people are just born weak, I guess. Nobody really knows what happened through most of the trap, because most of the people involved died, and Lawrence Gordon has refused to comment on the vast majority of it. So, for what the investigators have gathered, Adam is dead. They found his corpse, which I guess he killed him. We'll never know, though. So Lawrence Gordon found a hacksaw somewhere along the way and was able to saw off his foot to escape. So Adam died, and Gordon didn't. And there was also this guy named Zepp. I guess he was also tasked by Jigsaw to kill Lawrence's family if he didn't kill Adam in time, which his family's still alive. I think they escaped somehow. At least some of it was redacted from the public. I don't know, boring stuff like that. Anyway, moving on to one of the most famously known cases is the case of Amanda Young. She was a former drug addict who was in and out of jail for a while, and Jigsaw decided to test her. She was put in this device that investigators have been dubbing the reverse bear trap, based on the tape found at the scene of where she was tested, because they found where it was. It was a device attached to her head that would kill her in 60 seconds if she didn't cut open a man who she was promised was dead, but from her interview with authorities, she says that she believes he was alive still, which adds a whole nother layer of messed up to the situation. So basically she had to kill this guy and get a key out of his stomach. And she did successfully do that. She survived. The guy obviously did not. They found his corpse. It's assumed that his body, it was assumed that he failed a previous test, and that his punishment was that he had to assist in Amanda's test, or at least that's what authorities believe. We still don't know the identity of that guy who she had to kill, though, so we can never prove it. So Amanda escaped her test, and she's been having a lot of issues getting stalked by the press lately, which isn't a good thing in my opinion. There was more cases after that. Those are some of the older ones. There was another victim named Michael Marks who died in a more recent discovered case. He was tested. The press has not released why he was tested yet. So that's a massive bummer in my opinion. Could have made good content. But anyway, he was tested and he had this machine like similar to the reverse bear trap that Amanda had to deal with, but it was like an actual bear trap. At the scene of the crime, there was a tape discovered which explained the death mask that the man was wearing when he died. And it was sort of like there was all these nails on it, kind of like this, and the mask would shut on his face and kill him if he didn't get a key that was surgically implanted behind his eye out within 60 seconds. See, in my opinion, if that happened to me, I'd kind of just keel over and die at that point. Like, I'm not cutting my eye open. So that was kind of like no bueno. So I think it's pretty obvious why the man did not survive his trap, because neither would I, honestly. Seems a little impossible. The identity of the Jigsaw killer has only been recently discovered due to Detective Eric Matthews on the case. He had his son trapped in this other trap. We don't know much about it yet because the police have not released many of the documents, which is cheating me out of plenty of good videos that could get me lots of views and lots of cash for new sponsors, which are just rude in my opinion. So basically, the dude has to talk to Jigsaw for a while, and he beats them up apparently. Like, just old dude gets beat up by this detective guy. Like, that's kind of mean. Like, I get he killed people, but that's still kind of mean. So then the guy escapes somehow. Like, they're still trying to find John Kramer. Like, he just kind of disappeared. But, like, he's got brain cancer, shouldn't be as hard as it's turning out to be. Like, the dude's dying. He shouldn't be that, like, sneaky. Oh yeah. Before this video ends, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Totally Real Makeup Company. It's a wonderful makeup company that I just launched, and they have wonderful palettes, just like this one. That's totally one that we made ourselves, and definitely isn't something I got from Walmart. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to my Patreon. It's very ethical and totally not like a horrible operation. Thanks for watching!